Hello, student. Welcome to Brilliance Growth Academy. Now we are trying to find out the best way to understand our next chapter, that is the planning. From now onwards, planning and the other function of the management, like is organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, all are going to be more important, and you have to understand the same with due considerations, and you have to ask, or you can ask, or you can remind me any of the question that you are having in your mind through your comments. Thank you. So what is the planning? So first of all, we have to understand the meaning of the planning. Then we'll go for its main element. We will understand its importance, then other aspects of management. So what is planning? So first of all, we understand the meaning of the planning. Planning is a managerial activities of deciding beforehand what should be done and how it is to be done and when it is to be done and who will perform it. Here are four major factors you can observe. First, what should be done? क्या किया जाना चाहिए? How it is to be done? कैसे किया जाना चाहिए? When it is to be done? कब करना चाहिए? एंड हु विल परफॉर्म इट, कौन करेगा? तो इसके अंदर आपको चारों एलिमेंट्स आप इसमें स्टडी करते हो, बिकॉज प्लानिंग क्या है? प्लानिंग इज ए मैनेजरल एक्टिविटीज ऑफ डिसाइडिंग बिफोर हैंड। पहले से आपको दिखाना होता है, बताना होता है कि क्या करना है, कैसे करना है, कब करना है और कौन करेगा। बिकॉज मैनेजमेंट इज द things or activities to be done by others. So what we have to done, we have to define already. How it is to be done, we have to define it beforehand, and when it is to be done, it should be time oriented. And who will perform it? Here you will use the human or the manpower. So planning is important, or planning is a managerial activities that decide what is to be done and how it is to be done, when is to be done, and who will perform the same. It is like a roadmap that connects the current conditions with the future goals. ये आपको एक रोड मैप देता है, right? It will help you to design a road map that connects the current situations or current condition with the future goals. Today we are here, and the next where we want to go or where we should land on. So it will create a roadmap to understand how you can plan your organization or organization activities that will help the organization to go further, and what are the prevailing situation in the organization and how you can improve the same, or how you can design the activities in a such a manner that your social, personal, or your organization goals might be completed. So in this way, you have to plan your other activities and your goals. Manager create plans to reduce confusion and guide the action towards desired outcomes. What are the role of manager? Manager plan to reduce confusion and guide action towards desired outcomes. मैनेजर्स का रोल क्या रहता है कि वो कंफ्यूजन को कम करके जो भी गोल्स ज़रूरी हैं वो डिज़ाइन करते हैं, डिफाइन करते हैं, या क्या एक्शन लिया जाना चाहिए इसके बारे में बताते हैं, ताकि हम जो हमारे डिज़ायर गोल्स हैं, जो हमारे डिज़ायर आउटकम्स हैं, उसको हम आसानी से अचीव कर सकें। सो here in this way, managers create plans. They have to design the plan, they have to reduce the confusion, they have to guide the action. So planning leads to less confusion, and it will be actionable, and it will help in getting the outcome achieved. So in this way, planning is more important. Here I have shared an examples. A company decides to launch a new product. First, estimate the demand, allocate the funds, and set deadlines, and prepare the marketing strategies. So company decide to launch a new product. If you want a new product, then you have to estimate the demand, right? So how much demand would be there about the product, how we can allocate funds to produce the goods or produce a particular product, and how it will be approached to the client, and how it will be distributed in the market. Then you have to set the deadlines, and then you have to prepare your marketing strategies. So in this way, you are planning each and everything beforehand, beforehand than a executions. So you have to plan each and everything. You have to estimate the demand or project the demand. You have to allocate the fund for each and every activities that you will do, and you will execute, and you have to set the deadlines in how much time the product would be ready to be produced, uh, uh, in how much time product would be ready to consume, how much time product would be ready to market it, how much time it will reach to the distributor, how much time it will reach to the wholesaler or retailer or end consumer. So everything is set, everything you have to plan accordingly. So planning is very much important in this way. So you have to mark your area regarding the planning, in which you will decide how much time I would invest in doing a particular activities, how much time I would invest in execution the plan, how much time I would define deviations. So each and everything would be matter. So planning will help you to continue over all the activities which are very much required. It desists you from going on beforehand. It desists you from going on beforehand. It means it will help you to design your activities as per the planning. Okay. So for the long time, you have to continue in your planning, and it will define the mark where you can go, and it will help you to continue your effort in the planning and designing your stuff, and you can continue your journey with the organization, because organizations should have its own goal, and without the proper planning, without the proper resources, and without the proper human resource, it would not be achieved. So you have to consider your planning proportion very significantly. So it will help you to mark your planning, mark your activities that you have to do beforehand or before executions. Okay. So this is important. This is important point that you can understand from the planning point of view. Now we are considering the main element of planning. What are the main element of planning, and how, what would you consider in the planning proportions? So planning include, first of all, it should have a clear goals and its targets, right? What we need to achieve, what we need to target something, whether we are producing a goods, whether we are producing a services, how much time we have to invest in planning our goals and targets, how much time we need to how much time we need to invest in designing our activities, our procedures, and something, how much time we will need to get our capital to be financed or through the other medium of exchange, how much time we will have to collect or to design our workforce. So all these things in it should be clear and concise manner in your mind. So first of all, you have to define or design your goals and target. Second, we are moving on the choosing the suitable method to achieve goals. What are the suitable methods that will help you to achieve goals? What are the suitable approaches will help you to gain your main purpose, gain your main results? So each and everything, whether it's related with the product, how we will produce the product, whether we will use a capital intensive techniques or labor intensive techniques, how we collect or how we hire our human resource, how much human resource we need or we require to design our course of action, and how it will be implemented with the help of all the human resource that we have hired. So in this way, we try to analyze, we try to use different method so that we can achieve each and every goals of our organization. Because only planning would not be matter, we have to design our activities, we have to design our or hire the individuals or the human beings, because without human being or without the resources, nothing would be accomplished. So in this way, you have to choose most important method that help you to achieve your goals. Third one is estimate future condition and a possible risk, because planning you do is should be based on or should estimate the future condition, because the business environment is continuously changes. Business environment change continuously, or you have to think in a differently. There is a dynamic condition prevailing in the organization or outside of the organization, so condition would vary, and there might be some risk also associated with the business and its activities. So before the planning or along with the planning, you have to estimate future projections, future conditions, and possible risk or uncertainties that might arise in the near future. So in this way, you can finalize or you can design your goals through the planning process, okay, or planning stage. Fourth one is you have to select the best alternative after comparison. Okay, because when you plan or once you start planning, you have a number of options in your hand, right? How would I plan? How would I hire the human being? How would I channelize my resources? How would I start producing? How would I use the machinery? Whether it would be capital intensive or whether it's a labor intensive or a combination of both. So you have to have lots of option in your hand, and now it's time to compare the same, right? If you have a number of options for each and every element, then you have to find which option or which method will work for you, and it will help you from the for the changing environment also. It should be helpful in a changing environment also, because continuously working for your planning point of view, you have to think in the best interest of the organization. It will help you to design your all the course of activities beforehand or before execution. It will be helpful for each and every cases, because it will help you to maintain your maintain most of the activities which are very much required to be completed on time, and it should be helpful in defining or identifying what results you have achieved so far. So you have to define your best alternative possible, and then you have to design it, you have to define it, and then you can start your own execution level. Fifth one is ensuring implementation within a specific time frame, right? Ensuring implementation. Implementation is very much important. Implementation leads to execution of our idea, execution of your planning with a specific time frame, because you have already invested in a planning your own goals and activities and other possible situations. Now it's time to execute, right? Only planning without execution will not work, or execution without planning will not also work. So you have to set the time frame in which the planning will lead to execution, and then you would be able to achieve your desired target or goals. So planning should have this implementation phases with a specific time frame, and this time frame should help in implementing the things as per the plan required. So, main element of planning that we have studied so far will include first, goal and targets; second, suitable method; third, future condition and possible risk; fourth one, best alternative that you can design; and fifth one is implementation or execution. So, in this way, it would be helpful for you. Next, we are moving our important point, that is the importance of planning. Why planning is important and why we have to invest so much time in a planning, because planning leads to exact uh, exact implementation or exact execution of the things, because we have limited resources and limited time to implement our plan. So planning leads you certain things, or it will help you to provide certain things that will help you to continue your business goals and your social objective. And in this way you will avoid some of the things that might not arise in your organization, and will help you to diminish some of the activities or lessen the some of activity which are not required from the exam from the management point of view. So why the planning is important? So first point is provide the directions, because once you start planning, it will help you that in this direction you should design your plan, in this direction you should go, because employee understand what must be achieved and how to contribute. Because once you design your plan, it will give a clear direction to the employees, it will give a clear pictures of the things that of the goals that you need to achieve, you need to be targeted to. So employee understand that what must be achieved and how they need to contribute. So it will give them a proper direction in a specific manner, because planning decide that what they have to do, or they what they must to do in a respective goals, what they have to do or what they should do in a respective direction. So it will help them to achieve their target in a less resources or cost effectively. Next, it reduces the uncertainties, right? Once you start working your planning proportions, because and then it will help you to reduce uncertainties in terms of a dynamic environment, because once you start planning, it will give you the more opportunities to think about the future, think about the risk, think about the uncertainties that might arise in the near future. So future risk cannot be removed completely, but they can be anticipated. So reduce uncertainty sense. So planning will give you this kind of future risk might be arise once you start planning and its execution. So it will help you to minimize the risk. It will help you to identify the risk. It will help you to mitigate its effect on overall functioning of the organization. So in this way, it will help you to reduce uncertainties. So planning is important. It will give you a direction. It will give you a sense of understanding about how you can reduce your uncertainty. Third one is how you can avoid the duplication and waste. As I discussed earlier, that you have a limited resources, limited amount of time, and limited amount of energies that is to be put through the human resources. So, better coordination prevents repeated or unnecessary activities. If each and every department have its own manager and subordinate, if manager and subordinate have a proper coordination, then it will reduce the duplication and wastage of the activities and the resources. So coordination prevent the repeated or unnecessary activities. It will help you to give a particular direction that will help the organization to achieve their target in a cost effective manner. They will reduce the duplication of the activities. They will reduce the wastage of the resources. They will reduce the proper synchronizations of different activities and their department, so it avoids duplication and waste of resources. So in this way, your planning will help you to give you direction. Fourth one is it increases new ideas, right? Planning creates opportunities for creative thinking and problem solving. This is the one important point that we should consider, and we should think in a particular direction, because once you have a planning, then it will also help you to think creatively and think in a direction that might be helpful for you, and how you can overcome the problems, or you can provide a solution to a particular problem that might arise in the near future. So in this direction, organizations, its member, and the different department and their employees can work together, and they can come up with the new ideas, they can increase the initiatives to solve the problems, and they can become creative thinker about the problems and their solution with a cost effective manner. So planning give you ideas what should be done and what should not be, and in what ways we can conserve our resources, we can reduce our resources, or helpful in optimization of the activities and optimization of the resources that produce a significant and a fruitful result for the organization. So creative thinking is important. Creative thinking leads to use your mind in such a manner that problems might have a lots of solutions. Problem might should be viewed from the different point of view. Problem should not be only solved through the top management. It should be think it should be worked on from the management and from the middle management and the lower level management point of view as well. So middle level management and lower level management can also think about the solution that they can give to the top management, and the same can be applied to to solve the problems. In this way, new ideas will come out. New ideas will bring about the changes in the organization, and that might be fruitful for the organization. So in this way you can bring forth some of the power, some of the creative thinking that might help the organization, that might help the member of the organization to solve their problems in a such a manner that would help them to achieve their target in a very cost effective manner or with less cost and the resources. So in this way, a large sum of money you can save, because when you have a creative thinking or problem solving skills, so cost effective techniques would be applied, and less resources might helpful for providing a solution. Less resources might be used to design a problem solving situation. Next, we are moving on support better decisions. How you can support the better decisions, right? So important planning will give you in this direction also. Managers compare options before selecting actions. Manager compare options before selecting the option. As we have already discussed that manager have lots of alternative options, or then they have to decide which one will work for the organization and what are the best suitable options, and which option should we choose in a very significant manner, keeping the resource and the cost inactive, so that we can achieve our target in a very significant manner. So better decision should be supported. Okay, so manager compare options before selecting the actions. What option we have, what options we can work upon, or what option we should be associated, what option should we take that are associated with the resources, because every option consume our resource, every option consume our human resource. So every time whether you are choosing a option, you should focus on your risk level, you should focus on your cost level, you should focus on your human level. So option, the best option would be always be in the mind in the manager, and they should select important option, and that will help them to apply the same in the best interest of the organization. To support better decisions, it is lies in the hands of the manager, and the manager should compare the option and select the which option or which action would be sufficient to channelize the energy or the resource in such a direction that help them to achieve their goals and their target. Next one is help in control. Performance can be measured against a predetermined standard, because last function of the management is controlling. So management function are divided in five major element. First is the planning, second is organizing, third is staffing, fourth one is directing, and fifth one is controlling. So performance can be measured against a predetermined standard. What it says that once you can plan, you have to control your actions. Once you plan your activities, you have to identify that it should be in a particular direction, so that less amount of resources or less amount of humans being and their effort should be consumed, and we should control our actions so that we can achieve our desired goals and target with less effective cost manner. So it will help them to grow in such a manner, it will define them to define them to show their control measures, show their control techniques that will direct the planning, and its execution in a respective direction. Control will not allow you to go beyond the performance, go beyond the planning. It will keep you on a track. It will keep you on a something. It will keep you on a track. It will keep you on a situation that will guide you through the all the journey for the planning and its executions. If you find any deviation during the performance, you can identify the same, you can find the deviation, and then you can set the standard again, and it will help you to go along with, or you can control your resources, you can control your effort, and you can move in a respective direction which are very much required for you to put your best interest and your planning, or control the same, so that organizations can move in a respective direction in which it wants to go. So in this way, planning help you to control your further execution, whether it's related to the resources, whether it's related to the finance, whether it's related to the human being as well. So today we will discuss only this much of information. And to sum up this video, we have understood the meaning and concept of planning, we have understood the main element of planning, and we have understood the importance of planning. So next video will be based on some other topic related with this chapter. Until then, you should study, and if you have any problem, then you can share with me. You can type me in the comment your problem, your question. I will try to answer. Or if you like this video, if you have understood something important, then you can subscribe, or you can share it with other students, so that they might take the help from this video. And if any of their situation or the problems, help them to clear their doubts and something else. So thank you for this time.